Sunday NASCAR race day invades Indianapolis. David Ruderman, Clint Boyer, and Jimmy Johnson join us live. Plus, Kenny Wallace shows you a side of the Brickyard like you've never seen before. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Live from Indianapolis Sunday, 10 Eastern, only on Speed. Behind the wall goes the 7 of Justin Lofton.
What horrible luck this young man has. We caught a glimpse of what he's trying to do during the setup show, and gosh, she's had so much bad luck. Had a great run going, ran out of fuel, was at Iowa with like on the last lap, 2 laps to go, and they'd already gone overtime. Ray?
Phil, it's a fuel line issue this time, right by the carburetor. When it was running, it was just gushing fuel out. They're going to have to get in there and make an adjustment, but they were lucky they didn't get a fire here, because there was a huge amount of fuel coming out right on the right side of the carburetor at a fuel line where it hooks up to the carburetor.
You know, it's really amazing. There Justin Lofton is behind the wall having work done, and there his teammate is whose trucks are prepared exactly the same way out here leading the race and hasn't had near the bad luck that Justin has had lately.
Yeah, Justin Lofton was running in the 11th position when he had that problem with the fuel line going to the carburetor, as Ray mentioned. And Timothy Peters hasn't had problems up to this point in this race. He's looked very strong.
Well, you remember though at Iowa when one of Billy Blue's trucks broke, the other one broke. So Timothy Peters is leading the race, but I bet he's wondering, is my fuel line okay? They probably hadn't even told him though.
Hey, remember St. Louis, the 7 of Justin Lofton lost an engine. Timothy Peters lost an engine on the last lap, but he was able to nurse it home to 6th.
Hornaday still battling on the racetrack. He runs in the 3rd spot. That's Timothy Peters, Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday, 1, 2, 3.
Strong run for Hornaday early in the going. These guys have just been constantly battling this lap traffic. I told you in the pre-race this track is full. There's trucks everywhere. You're constantly making a move on somebody.
Things happen fast here at a short track as we're closing in on a 4th of this race being done.
Saw Matt Crafton go in the middle of 3 wide. James Buescher doing the same thing, as well as Johnny Sauter. They're going to split the lap trucks.
Like you mentioned earlier, you go where there ain't, and that's exactly what they're doing on this racetrack tonight.
Crafton riding along in the 4th spot. Got James Buescher breathing down his neck, and you can see Johnny Sauter right there. We talk about the trucks being built alike, and sometimes things happen to them similarly. And in this case, Buescher, the guys are able to run right with their teammate. We saw Crafton and Sauter right there together. So that's a good feeling if you're a race car driver, and you know you got everything that guy's got. Then it comes down to just you driving it, you doing the job.
And not making mistakes, especially on a short track. Johnny Sauter has had some good runs as of late. 2nd and 3rd his last 2 races out. His best finish at this racetrack, 2nd back in 2004.
And Michael, remember last week Johnny Sauter told us that their truck wasn't quite as good as they would have liked. They went to Matt Crafton's setup and parlayed that into a 3rd place finish.
10th, 11th, and 12th on your screen. David Starr in the 81. Brad Sweet in the 90, still staying way down on the bottom of the racetrack, and the 2 of Shelby Howard on the outside. Again, that 2, a Kevin Harvick Incorporated truck. Shelby Howard is behind the wheel. And more on that, Ray Dunlap.
Rick, in practice earlier today, Shelby's truck was terribly tight, and his crew chief Butch Hilton brought it in, put it up on the scales, and put all 4 different shocks and springs on that truck. A complete different setup to get it freer. And then in the 2nd practice, Shelby said it is turning absolutely perfect. He was really, really happy with the adjustments they've made, and he said he likes the way the truck is coming to him as they go into a long run so far tonight here at ORP.
I like the way it's looking too, guys. He's caught the back of these trucks. He's running along in the 12th spot, but it looks like he's got something closed right up on the group he's racing there.
Pretty impressed with Brad Sweet as well, the Great Clips Toyota there for Doug Stringer. He's doing a nice job. He probably has as many laps on this racetrack as anybody with all the open wheel racing he's done here.
Heck, he raced here last night. Got all warmed up.
Couple different divisions, right? I think he ran the midgets and he ran the Silver Crown last night.
Gelterio bringing the 48 onto pit road. She's 4 laps down. Off the racetrack right now, Justin Lofton. They're still working on that truck. Brent Raymer, Mike Harmon, and Mike Garvey also off of the racetrack. Battle for the 5th position. James Buescher trying to hold off that 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Johnny had a nice run through the center of the corner and then lays off just a little bit to see if he can maybe get a little bite up off the corner to try to get underneath James. James has really been running that inside line, trying to work his way by Matt Crafton. Now he's lost touch a little bit with Matt, trying to hold off Johnny Sauter.
And that's the 63 truck. He's the first truck a lap down Nick Hoffman. So if the flag caution waves right now, he's our Aaron's lucky dog. They've lapped all the way up to the 21st spot. Donnie Lee is the last truck on the lead lap, and the leaders are breathing down his neck.
Things happen so fast on short tracks. Michelle Theriault trying to leave pit road, a little rambunctious. She is caught for speeding. She exited pit road, so she'll have to come back and do a pass through, which she's doing now.
It's a great battle for the 5th spot here with James Busher and the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, just pick a position you want to talk about, because there's battles everywhere. The 3 wide off turn 4. These guys side by side.
The gap for the lead has not changed virtually since the start of this race. It's been about 0.3 of a second between our race leader Timothy Peters and Kyle Busch.
Johnny Sauter able to make that pass on James Busher. There's David Starr right there. That's a battle for the 9th position. Brad Sweet now has moved up by the 5 of Mike Skinner to take over the 10th spot.
Adam Alexander.
A week ago it was an impressive run for Jason White. 11th at Gateway, moved him up to 10th in the points. He's been very good here this evening as well. 24th to 13th in the early going for that 23 truck you see him left of your screen. And another driver who's looking good this evening is Ricky Carmichael. He's rallied from 32nd back up into the top 20 after those 2 trips down pit road earlier.
Shelby Howard looking at the inside of Mike Skinner now.
There's Carmichael. He, like you said, had a couple trips to pit road, overheating early in the going. These 2 side by side down into turn 1. Looks like Shelby Howard's got a better truck than Mike. Can he complete the pass? Oh,
real slow there.
He's got it now.
Clear.
I think Mike gave him a bit of a break there and didn't push the issue.
Mike Skinner has been in victory lane twice at this racetrack, the most recent back in 1996. Looking to get back into victory lane is Skinner. He's got a lot of work to do, though, because Timothy Peters is running strong in front of this field.